What is up, everyone? What is up? Happy Monday! What's everyone up to? What's everyone doing? It's another day at a cybersecurity conference, and boy, I'm kind of just like pooped from all of these conferences. And to be honest, this is a 3-day one, but so far, impressions, I don't know. When you compare it to things like hackers teaching hackers, DEF CON, GERCON, it's kind of just, you know, not even kind of living up to it. The thing that's really doing it for me is everyone, and I mean everyone, is talking about AI. AI. We get it. AI is the hot topic, but it's not the only topic. We have quantum computing around the corner that we have to worry about. We have a whole bunch of different, policy issues going around with the United States that we need to discuss in terms of business. And, yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm just so over AI'd. What's a term that we can use? Like, you know how people say, like, I'm peopled out? Saying I'm AI'd out doesn't really quite have the same ring. What's a word that we can create for that? That's my big thing. And then I'm still fucking around with the iPad. I mean, it's an alright device. I'm kind of using it for a few things. It'll be a great note-taking device. That's how I look at it. I will say this. This fucker's overpriced. But the Apple Pencil actually is kind of useful. Although, Steve Jobs is rolling over in his grave because he purposely was like, I want to make a phone so we'll never need to use styluses again. I want to kill off styluses, was basically what he wanted to do. But why did I make it sound like I was drunk? But anyway. Yeah, so I got the, Apple Pencil Pro here. This is the one that apparently has the Find My feature on it. You have to pay extra in Apple to be able to find your own pencil. So wait a minute. Apple, we create this technology way before this pen over here of you are going to lose devices, so let's help you find them. Oh, creates this device, which happens to be the most fucking losable device that you will own from Apple. I lost this fucker like 3 or 4 times in like a single day. Okay? Steve Jobs is always drunk. Why is the bot so delayed? It's always 4 minutes in before sending notification. I have an intentional delay in there. I haven't adjusted it much more. I did that for... I didn't want to, like... My brain is fried, I swear. It is so freaking hot between the convention that you have to walk like several blocks from the parking garage to there. That, my God. Okay, anyway. So, the reason why is if I go live on stream, I want to have a few minutes of buffer time so that I can go live and, you know, get things ready. Because, you know, things happen. So, I don't want you to go live and it's just loading screen. Unless chat wants to get loading screen. I don't know. You tell me. Just took into Linux in college. I've had a new love. I discovered Linux. Oh, nice. Yeah, happy hacking. Steve Jobs' voice drunk. I don't think he was quite drunk. I don't think he was quite peaked Hegseth. But yeah. So, also, iPads. It's $300 for their little folio thing. This is like $150 from Zag. This is more than enough. This is probably more rugged than what they offer. And you know what it also can do? Hold the pen. Anyway. It's been a long day, but oh yeah, and then I didn't show you all on stream last time. I got some other goodies while I was at Hackers Teaching Hackers. They had a bag of swag of like badges and stuff from the last cons and stuff. Like this was a badge from 614 con. Which, yes, that is an actual, like, graphics card. That was an actual badge. They laser jetted out. So, hold on. Can I, sit? Yeah, there we go. So, they laser jetted that out. But that was a badge for one of the local cons here a few years ago. Another one of the badges that we found from that same con. Got DerbyCon. DerbyCon was epic. Apparently they had like Crystal Method and Infected Mushrooms, I think, play at that. This is actual copper, by the way. Like, they went all out for their badges. Look at this. Like, that's copper. Oh, yeah. And then I found one of the previous DEF CON badges. So this is from DEF CON 21. One of my buddies found the DEF CON 19 badge out there. So there's this. It's made out of a PCB. So I got a DEF CON 21 badge. And the bag itself is from DerbyCon too. And then they had a bunch of these blanks as well from badges that they just had left over from badges in the past that they've made. So this was from the 2024 Hackers Teaching Hackers entry badge. Of course, there's no components in it. You'd have to find the components and then solder it. Which one was this? This... It's another badge from Hackers Teaching Hackers. And then these were the shards for DEF CON 31. Yeah, these were the shards from DEF CON 31 that you shoved into your badge. So you got your main badge and then you would pick these up. Well, I happened to find apparently from one of the villages unremoved little pieces. The Who is playing. The what? No, they are next. Really. much it. Yep, that was pretty much it. How often are these events? So most of these events in cybersecurity go on yearly. Yeah, so they're just about every year. You have to get your ticket usually like 2 or 3 months in advance. It's not like a lot of... Most of these events, it's not like you can just show up and then just get your ticket there. I think DEF CON is one of the only cybersecurity events that I know of that you can just walk in and, you know, you're gonna have to pay cash, literally. Like, it's not like, oh, yeah, he's, like, joking, like, haha, you just have to what? No, you're gonna literally have to pay cash. That's the whole thing. And you can buy the badge. Everyone else, you usually have to pre-register before you can even go in. And these events are for anyone of any skill level? Absolutely. That's what they're there for. They are there for you to learn and we to share knowledge and grow as a community and network and just, you know, learn from each other. And, you know, when we have amazing things to, you know, share that we've discovered, we then, you know, present on those. Like one of the things I'm doing is this week I'm going to be presenting at the ISSA InfoSec Summit. I do plan to record that talk later, separately, because they're not recording it in the talk. It's like too small of a conference for that, and but I'll come back to the house and record it here and put it on YouTube later, so you guys will get the whole thing, because I scripted it all. I even got kind of the iPad here as kind of the teleprompter note kind of thing here set up, which is part of the reason why I bought it. It was one of those, like, I've been needing something in between full computer and phone. And it was just, yeah. So, I originally wanted a Google Pixel Android tablet, but I couldn't find those anywhere. So, iPad it is. So it be. I just was not feeling the Samsung tablets. And then, you know what's funny is, you go into the Apple store to go get the iPad and everything like that. They have a really weird way of buying stuff in the Apple store. And Apple, like the cult of Apple, whenever you point anything wrong about Apple, they make you out to be the worst thing ever. Like on Instagram, they're like going after me for this. Like one guy actually said, well then you should just go use Samsung. Little do they know I actually use a Samsung to record most of my video. But anyway, sup Hans. But the cult of but anyway, when you go to buy an Apple product at an Apple store, it's never straightforward. Think about that. It's never go get product, go find cashier, check out. Because like half the time it's I have to find the right person to even check you out if I can even grab the specific item in the first place. Like, it is a problem that you do not find when you buy the same exact Apple products at a Best Buy or a Micro Center. It is the funniest thing. I point this out and Apple users freak out at me like, oh, I never have an issue. And I'm like, you don't see the process problem here. Anyway. I think you think you did good with an MSP interview today? Nice! You're gonna get it. Check InfoSecMap.com and anything near you. Yeah. I went to a monthly lunch on Saturday and I felt out of place because it was my first one, but I stayed quiet and tried to absorb as much as I could understand. Check InfoSecMap.com for anything near you. They have a map option. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so InfoSec Map is really great of a resource to use to find any InfoSec related events, you know, all your cybersecurity hacking events, all of that. It's free. You can go on there, find anywhere in the world. Most events are on there. Not everything, but most of them. And, you know, like you said, you know, sometimes, you know, your first event, you're going to be a little bit shy. Like, hell, I know my first cybersecurity event was DEF CON. Like, that I think was, like, my first, like, I'm going to an actual, like, conference for cybersecurity. And that's a bit much to take in, as you can imagine, your first time. So I can imagine. Just soak it up. There's a B-sides coming up that'll be intimidating but fun. B-sides are great. Oh, I love B-sides. I go to a bunch of them. I go to more, but, traveling, man. Gotta take PTO and shiz. But yeah, B-sides are great. Some B-sides are better than others, because every B-sides is independent. Of course, B-sides Las Vegas is still the king of all the B-sides conferences. I think that's because it's the OG one. But yeah, and that'll be fun. So I'll be at B-sides Las Vegas. That'll actually be, I think, technically, no, there's a CrowdStrike event. I don't know if I'm going to count that as a cybersecurity. Well, maybe. Anyway, in a couple months, that'll be the next big cybersecurity event is where I'm going. Isn't DEF CON also a party? Yeah. So, here's the thing. All of these cybersecurity events have a party, per se, in their own right, in a different way. Allow me to explain, if I will. Most of them have, like, happy hours and stuff like that that you will be able to do. DEF CON, of course, has those, you know, the actual pool parties and stuff like that, and the B-sides Las Vegas does, too. Some others do have additional parties as well. But they, you know, can have fun things they do throughout. Like GurCon will also... GurCon had a few things I didn't attend because there's just so much going on. But GurCon also had you, like, drink beer in the middle of the day for free. So, that's the story of how I got this tattoo. I was also fortunate to get an internship at an MSP on my second week, doing great. Nice! What's the best entry cybersecurity jobs? It's really hard to get, like, entry jobs. Generally, it would be... It depends on what you're trying to do. Because there's different paths. But the weird thing in cybersecurity is I've noticed that different companies will call the same jobs that someone is doing a different title in different places. It is weird. Like, technically, I'm still a senior cybersecurity engineer from where I was before and where I am now, but they're, you know, like, some people will, like, hire analysts and still have them do some engineering and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as entry-level jobs, GRC may be a little bit easier of an entry level because it's the least technical way. But you don't want to get stuck into the GRC pigeonhole. So you're gonna have to tinker. Go with the technology. Man, I have drank so much water today. I have drank this whole container at least 1.5 times over. This is a half gallon. One of the few times you will see me use imperial measurements. What's the pigeonhole? Oh, you get stuck in a GRC and you never actually get to do anything technical. You're just in policy compliance, policy compliance, policy compliance. And you're in controls and you're talking about theory and philosophy, but you're not actually getting hands-on and understanding the actual technology and doing the stuff. Yeah, GRC is spreadsheets. Your pee must be clear as water then from all that water. I don't know, let's check. I'm kidding. Well, I can drink enough of that goth girl spit. We still got that. I still got that case over there. Congratulations on passing your LPI, sir. I don't know, thank you. I don't know what, there wasn't much to congratulate me for. That was like a 10-minute test. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm not saying this to stroke my ego or anything. That was seriously the easiest test I've taken out of all of my cert exams. Like, in and out in 10 minutes. Like, not hyperbole. Not exaggerating. 10 minutes. Like, the exam proctor couldn't even believe it. Like 10 minutes. But then again, I'm a Linux user of like what? 15, 20 years or so? What's your thoughts on Temple OS? The holiest of operating systems. Which cert? The LPI, Linux Professional Institute, what is it? The, Linux Essentials. Basically saying, I know Linux. I understand the basics of Linux. Not that you can engineer it, but that you know how to find a file. You know how to set permissions. Like that. That's all it shows. Does WGU offer Terry Davies scores? I don't think so. Growing up, I downloaded Ubuntu today. Yay, learning a new system. Yes. Become one with the open source dark side. We have open source fresh baked cookies, moonshine, and red lightsabers. We also have Goth Girl Spit. You realize that is so gonna become a recurring joke. Okay, so I'm curious. Oh my god! I did not read this can. There are Easter eggs on it. Okay, this can is good till 2028. Okay, so like if you look at the QR code, it says right there, sneaky link. Trying to see if there's like anything else like hidden on there. Oh, no. It's not that bad. At least it's not one of the spicy drinks. Oh, did you get some of this? So is this like literally like not gonna be a regular thing? This was like a one-time collab thing that just sold out? Get Milky's Gamer Girl sweat next. What the fuck? Oh no, it's a permanent flavor. Haven't seen that one up in Canada. What? Goth Girl spit? I thought they said it was a limited time collab. What's up, Fire God? How's it going? I don't know. One of these days I'll try this drink, not right now because it is like 8 o'clock at night and I do have to get up tomorrow to do stuff. One of these Sundays I'll get up earlier and stream a little bit earlier and try this out. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine, goddamn. You know, I just looked at the ingredients for this stuff. This shit could actually be, like, basically a pre-workout. Like, you shouldn't drink more than one of these. Oh, that literally what, that's literally what it's for. They actually are marked, it's like, consume within 1 hour prior to effort, for optimal results. They have 300 milligram pre-workout. Yeah. I don't need that much caffeine. I just need, see, like, I usually get V8 energies that give me 80 milligrams, and that's more than enough. Cup of coffee, that's more than enough. This is like basically Mike Tyson coming up and fucking pounding you in the face. Just saying, like, wake up, motherfucker! That was not like how Mike Tyson actually sounds. I know that's not how he sounds. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't know why Stream Elements does that. Thank you for that sub there. Appreciate you. We come with receipts around here. Thank you, Fire God. Appreciate you. Did you do RCSA or any R? No. The only cert that my first cert that I ever got, in my adult career life was the CISSP, and in this order, I got it in this specific order. Y'all are gonna like be like, what? I got the CISSP, then I got the A+, the Network+, the Security+, ITIL v4, and then the Linux Professional Institute Linux Essentials. Next, I gotta get Project Plus. Chief, as you were reading that, you reminded me of a candle. Check your DMs. What'd you send me? Alright, and then we gotta get to the, videos. You're right, I misspoke. The owner said he was thinking of about making a permit. Here's a list of the drinks he have. Oh yeah, drink echelon, yeah. Me consuming 3 to 4 liters of white monster a week. Jesus. I can't do that much. That's just bad for you. What's the candle thing? Dragon pussy? Really? Oh god. What is this? What is this? What the hell did my mod just send you? What did my mod just send me? You're a knight from the kingdom of Camelot, and you're on a quest to slay a dragon. Your little dick shrieks even smaller as you approach the game. You've heard dragons breathe fire, but that heat you feel on your face is coming from her south mouth. What the fuck? What the shit is this? These are actual candles? What kind of description is this? Hey, let me light my dragon pussy. Oh. Jesus! Have you read this? Chat, did you read this? Like, I can't read this with a straight face. Like, I am just dying. I don't know what to do next. I don't know, buy this candle. Ugh. The hell? Jeez. Alright. Let's get into the review on stream. Did I leave a note to myself? Yes, I did. High five past me. Alright. I wonder, after it melts a dragon egg, is it... Yeah, I'm just started watching. Thank gods. Oh, no. It's just a candle. It's just a candle. We were talking about the description. I don't know if y'all can see the description. Yeah, you can see that. That description is just hilarious. That was just hilarious as shit. One of my mods sent that to me. That was what we were talking about. It's just a candle. Alright. So, let's see.
Zombie survival game just changed the entire genre.
Ah! Sorry, I was on the wrong... Alright, let's see. What did my mod send me? So, Vampire sent me this.
This zombie survival game just changed the entire genre because, for once, you play like an actual human. It wants nothing less than to be the most realistic survival game out there. And for that, it basically throws out everything you know about the genre. You won't magically craft a pickaxe from a tree branch or instantly know how to build a generator. Instead, you survive like a real person would. And your most important survival tool is your smartphone. Since you definitely aren't an expert, if you want to craft a fishing rod, fix electrical wire...
Okay, you know what this makes me think of? Now, I know I'm gonna have to, you know, come back and, you know, remove the song from this part of the, stream. But, hold on. There's a song, there's an artist called, named Jonathan Colton, famous comedian. He made some freaking hilarious comedy songs. Hold on. And he made this one called Re Your Brains. Maybe I need a brain. If I only had a brain. Do 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 do. We'll watch the, we can watch the World of Warcraft version, or we can watch the, LA version. We'll do that for some nostalgia. This is what that, reminds me of.
From the office down the hall.
Give it a second, it's funny.
It's good to see you, buddy. How have you been? Things have been okay for me, except that I'm a zombie now. I really wish you'd let us in. I think I speak for all of us when I say I understand why you folks might
Hesitate to submit to our demands.
But here's an FYI, you're all gonna die screaming. All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're not unreasonable.
Didn't know I was gonna eat your eyes.
All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're at an impasse here. Maybe we should compromise.
This is early internet culture, just so you understand that we grew up with. So when you all talk about your TikTok songs, this is what we had. We had entire songs. Not little snippets, we had entire songs that we memed. And then we remixed the fuck out of them. With autotune, and without autotune. Anyway, that's what that video reminded me of. Okay. Let's see.
What's up, guys? So someone built an open source domain project. It lets you register and renew domains forever for free. Like what? It's got 162,000 GitHub stars.
Okay. Digital plat free domain. We can check that out. Let's check that out. What is it? github.com/digitalplatdev/free domain. So what's... Okay, so this is working on a few extensions that are free. not the most user-friendly domains, but I mean, it's something. I mean, you should still just buy a domain and call that a day. Okay. Next. Internet was simpler back then. Oh, indeed it was.
How can ethical hackers get your password from your email?
Easily. So many ways. Depending on what the situation is, that can alter it.
Pump your email into breachdirectory.org. This will show us all of your passwords found in data breaches. If the password is protected or hashed, we can go to binsec.tools to see if the
Oh, you have one of those domains? Great. You can use that tool.
Follow me if you'd like to become a better ethical hacker.
If you need it, look up my GitHub. I just started, so look in my starred repos recently. It does announce what I star to all of my socials too. What was he saying?
Previously. Like this poster, follow passwords found in data breaches. If the password is protected or hashed, we can go to binsec.tools to see if the hash has been broken previously. Like this poster, follow me if you'd like to become a better ethical hacker.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, you know, the basics of what you're going to be doing with a lot of cybersecurity, which is why when we look for any passwords that have been exposed, we immediately just, to be err on the side of caution, want the user to change their password as soon as possible. In my preference, I would have controls that force a password reset upon discovery of a breach.
Docker Swarm explained by Cats. Kitty runs containers. One server at first, everything's fine.
You and your goddamn cats, vampire. I swear to fucking God.
Then more cats arrive. One server starts to struggle. So, Kitty builds a swarm. Docker Swarm is container orchestration tool, like Kubernetes, but simpler and lighter. One coordinated pack of cats. Kitty adds servers to the swarm. Docker spreads containers across them. If one machine naps, the others keep serving tuna.
Right.
Kitty deploys a service once. Then Docker Swarm decides where it runs, how many copies, and keeps them alive. Need more power? Kitty scales up. More containers, more cats. No complex rituals. Docker Swarm handles networking, load balancing, and service discovery automatically.
Right.
Docker Swarm. Orchestration without the heavyweight backpack. Multiple machines. One simple coordinated swarm of cats.
I don't know if you really want to do so much of a Docker Swarm, because at a certain point, you know, you're looking at different sets of automations. I mean, Docker's great. You should understand it, don't get me wrong. But at a certain point, it has limitations. Can't you run an OS on Docker containers? Yeah.
Okay, check this out. This is Project 1 of making interactive tech until Disney notices me. And we're starting with this lamp. First, I set up a projector with a camera on it for the perfect shot. Then I wrote a program that lets me add borders around any object on my wall.
Okay.
We can now run code whenever we click on it, but we need a way to actually control the lamp in real life. For this, I bought a smart switch that you can control over Wi-Fi. And finally, we put it all together to make this shot.
You were offering doing for certification testing. No, I unfortunately did not do that. Seems like a lot of effort for like little result to just do that. I mean, hey, whatever makes you happy for that little
for human
thing.
To undergo photosynthesis.
Sorry, but yeah, I don't really do tutoring. I just don't have a lot of time.
Scientists have just made it possible for human cells to undergo photosynthesis, and the lead researcher told me they are soon to be starting clinical trials. What the hell is going on? So you've probably heard of photosynthesis before, at least I hope so. And part of that process...
Chat! Just checking. You all have heard of this. If not, I'm gonna be sorely disappointed in any one of you that doesn't know this. And don't some of you just come forward and say you don't know it so that I can punish you publicly because you have a kink for it. And don't come out saying that you have a kink for it just for me to shame you for it because you have a kink for it.
Involves taking energy from light and converting it into energy for the plant cell in the form of a molecule called ATP. Sounds useful? Well, years ago, scientists discovered that certain types of slugs can steal the ability to photosynthesize from algae. And they do this by stealing chloroplast, the organelle that performs photosynthesis. And this gives these slugs the ability to have more energy that they otherwise wouldn't have. So scientists wondered, is it possible to give human cells more energy by transplanting in the machinery that's required for photosynthesis? And that's exactly what they did. They transplanted into human cells
if you transplant Pussy Willow into me and I photosynthesize, can I technically be eating pussy all day? Am I a 6-year-old? Am I an immature, like, basically 5-year-old? Basically, yeah. Well, no, it's more like a 13 or 14-year-old kind of humor. But yeah.
photosynthetic machinery called thylakoids. This gave human cells the ability to gain energy from light. And it also gave the cells the ability to make more NADPH, which supports the cell during inflammation and stress. But this is where it gets really, really crazy. Scientists realized they could package up the photosynthetic machinery into nanoparticles that they could use for eye drops. That's right.
Wait, what?
That would allow cells to gain the ability to photosynthesize.
What?
Photosynthesis eye drop. Testing this, they took mice with dry eye disease and started giving them the photosynthesis eye drops. Their eyes, now with the power to photosynthesize, started producing more tears and reduced their symptom of dry eye disease. And now the scientists are going to be starting clinical trials, meaning that in the coming years we could see potentially a fix for your dry eyes. Just add a few drops and they start to photosynthesize. Science is so damn cool.
I just wanted to I was just thinking that we were going to be turning into plants this whole time. This is just a cure for dry eye, and I'm sitting here like, we're turning into motherfucking plants! The vegans are winning! Don't ask me, I'm just stupid today, okay?
We've made a groundbreaking discovery. You know Brachiosaurus? All of those bones that we thought were in his neck, turns out actually not his neck.
Oh my, that is awful.
Yeah, people are upset.
Get back, neck, or go to heck!
We know exactly where those bones belong. T-Rex.
What the fuck?
Good news is we don't think so.
You wrecked T-Rex!
Bad news, we were wrong.
Luckily, there are still a ton of other beloved dinosaurs, like the Triceratops. Yeah? How did we miss all of this?
Paleontologists have just been putting dinosaur bones together based off of what looked plausible and cool. We never stopped to think
that maybe they all just looked kind of dumb.
They were ears.
But how did he fly?
He didn't fly. He heard. You know, saber-tooth more like buck-toothed tiger.
Had this weird dangly thing.
What the fuck?
Not even close.
What the fuck?
Brachycephalosaurus? Oh, please tell me it looks cool now.
Nope. We actually got that one right.
Oh!
We've made a groundbreaking.
God damn it. Lost my spot. Okay, where the hell? There we are. We were here. And there.
Let me get this straight. You bought a pre-built smartwatch? That's pretty cringe. I'm slowly becoming convinced ESP32s are capable of literally everything. One of which is this modern-day e-ink digital watch with a solar panel that stays on for 10 full...
The problem with them, though, is that, you know, they're still kind of bulky and clunky for those kind of wearable purposes, and in ESP32, they are freaking battery drains. Like, this guy right here, this guy, 3,000 milliamp battery, with the screen off, just Bluetooth. Dead in a day. Like, it's not even funny.
Full months on a single charge. It's called the Light Ink, which is a DIY that stays on for 10 full months on a single charge. It's called the Light Ink, which is a DIY project where you build your own watch in the color, style, and configuration
Okay, now that's kind of cool.
that suits you best. Don't get it twisted though. This ain't your standard run-of-the-mill Casio. The Light Ink has GPS, capacitive touch, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and more. And since it's open source, the possibilities as to what you want to do with it beyond just, you know, telling time are pretty much endless. So it's time to wait for somebody to play Doom on it.
It's already gonna happen, you know. What's it called? The Light Ink. Alright, let's see this puppy. Light Ink. Okay. So, it was on Hackaday. Alright. Do they have a GitHub or anything? Or... So they just have images here. Instructions. Ah! So you need to 3D print it. Trying to see. Well, they say it's open source, so hold on. Do they have... Oh, that's what I was looking for. Why can't this website be a little bit more descript? Or intuitive? Alright, so... Looking at this... They still have some goals they're trying to accomplish for the project, it looks like. There is life in the project. Alright, the purpose of the project. Alright, hardware. It has an SX1262. We could use that for Meshtastic or Reticulum or stuff. Oh, it looks like they actually kind of did that. Except for you would have to modify this if you were doing the USA. So we would need to replace the antenna, this 868 megahertz antenna, with a 915 megahertz. That will definitely have to be changed, and the radio module, that just has to be into the US mode. Okay, cool. Curious how you would go ahead and build this, but looks interesting.
Which is a...
I'd love to build something like that. I just got so many projects as it is. What is this? This is gonna be like some stop motion thing. I don't get it. I don't know. Thanks for wasting 15 seconds of my life, vampire. Wait, didn't we watch these? Didn't we watch this video, Hans? I could have sworn that we watched that video already. I could have sworn we did, but let's take a look then, I guess.
What you're going to see in this video took place over several months, and that's...
Yeah, we saw this video. You must have posted it twice. Alright. Oh, I'm rewatching? Ah. My brain has been fried, as you can see by the heat. You know what? F it. We'll just start from the bottom. What is this? Player error? Oh. Way to go, TikTok. Let's see, what's this Kara put up? The CEO sued my friend over an honest product review, but forgot to cover his tracks. I caught him.
Hey,
ooh.
Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode.
Let's buckle in for some Louis Rossman drama.
I'm your host, Louis Rossman. I told him that he needed to drop this frivolous lawsuit that he made against the YouTube reviewer that made honest reviews of his products. And one of the problems that I'm noticing among battery companies is they tend to have different things in their websites at different times, and it is something that's starting to really fucking piss me off. What I noticed about Deep Cycle Systems, another piece of shit company in Australia that decided to sue a good friend of mine, Stephen Fisher, because he published an honest review. This over here says March 25th, 2022, and when we scroll down over here, you'll notice that we have something different. The battery will be determined to be defective if it fails to deliver less than 80% of its rated capacity during the warranty period. And if I search for the number 70 in my browser, you'll notice that it never shows up. So over here, you can see that this is the policy. Policy last updated June 14th, 2021, no change in date. If I take a look over here,
okay,
is October 28th, 2022. We have the same thing, 80%, never mentioned 70. If we take a look over here, we have March 9th, 2023, still is 80. And then when we click over here, you'll notice that on November 7th, 2023, and when we scroll down to the bottom of the website, you'll see that it still says policy last updated June 14th, 2021. You lying fucking scumbags.
Jesus
dare you to sue me for defamation. So many people whose battery capacity dropped to 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 74% were not able to get warranty service, and many of these people did not have access to that archival website because many of us still live in a world that we believe is honest. We don't think that right after we buy the product that we have to come up with a fucking offline host of a company's website and their warranty and their product terms and conditions so that they cannot change them into the future to not cover the product if it's faulty. DCS lost their case. Dragonfly Energy is about to as well. What am I talking about here? So let me just...
Okay.
The person who's getting sued, explain it first. I'm going to let him show you these batteries and show you the quality of them, and I'll give you some of my thoughts before we dig into the text of the lawsuit.
Today I'm covering a huge problem with Battleborn batteries. If you have one of these, it might not be safe to use, so please watch the...
No, I've been seeing those batteries around. Apparently they've been getting shit on by the ham radio community for a while. BioNO is kind of the go-to in the ham radio community, but yeah, apparently they were getting shit on. I saw them getting shit on quite a bit.
Video. The problem that people are reporting is the main positive terminal is overheating. So one of my forum members sent one out so I could test it myself. I connected a charger, and in a few minutes, it was already overheating. So I continued the test, and I got it up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit on this terminal. That is not okay. And then it would randomly cut off. It would totally disconnect power. And I was like, what is going on? So I went through the forum post and the messages from other members experiencing this, and they said that if you push the terminal to the side, it will make connection inside and it will start charging or discharging again. So we have a bad connection inside the battery, and not only is it causing it to overheat, but it's also causing it to intermittently disconnect.
That's a bad battery weld then. You gotta do, what is it, like tack welds or something like that, or whatever it goes, like, I forgot what it is. But, yeah.
3 of these batteries, and it's doing it on all 3 of them. And look at the color of the epoxy. This comes bright red, and it's so damaged by heat that it's a different color now, and it's cracking. Guys, it got so hot it melted the plastic cell holders.
Jesus.
The problem. The main terminal is connected with this bolt and these nuts, and over time it works.
So you aren't even... You literally just put a nut on a nut, and you didn't put any, washers, anything like that to keep it from moving, like the basics. A nut on a nut ain't gonna, you know, keep it from moving. We know this from years. Vibration will move that.
Works itself loose, especially for mobile applications.
Yeah, thread lock. That's pretty important.
Van or an RV.
Well, I don't know. You can't really use thread lock, I don't think, in a situation like... Well, maybe you can. You should be able to with electronics. Maybe. You should be able to. Yeah.
This is gonna go loose much faster. I wonder what Battleborn will do to fix this. Also, it's probably overheating these cells. Looks like all of these are loose, actually. And all the current has to go through this bolt because this is not touching the bus bar. That is dangerous. If you have these in your possession, I don't think you should use them. And this one's loose too. Oh, but this one will overheat because the conductors are connected directly to the terminal. But on this one, that little bolt is all that's holding it together, so it has a good electrical connection.
Jeez.
That is not good. Holy cow, I didn't know it was that bad. And all the temperatures that I recorded were on the outside of the pack. Imagine how hot it's getting inside to actually melt plastic. There's deformation all the way over here on the BMS holder. That is a lot of heat. Jeez. This whole bus bar changed color compared to the other bus bar. And if this is changing color and it's connected to these cells, yeah, this is so bad. Yeah, this is dangerous, guys. If you have one of these, take it out of your system. This is not safe to use. I hope Battleborn comes out with a solution because they need to. Also, if you ever have a problem with any solar product ever, please send it my way and I'll make a video. I'll do all the proper testing, I'll rip it apart, and I'll find a solution.
That battery looks really, really sketch. Like, can I find a really good... But, I mean, it just looked like some of the wiring, I don't know, just kind of even looked undersized, too, to me. That could have just been my perception from the camera angle, from, everything. It's kind of hard to say. But, yeah, that's no bueno. That's bad engineering. Like, there's really no excuse for that.
For this, there is no solution. You need to remove this from your system. This is not safe to use.
I agree with Will. I don't think that that's safe to use, and I would not want to pay top dollar for that. In fact, I would not pay $1 for that. That is useless to me. This is absolute garbage. I would not want this in my house. I would not want this in my boat. I would not want this in my car or my RV.
It's a risk. It's a risk. I mean, you can get your thing catching on fire. Just lead acid is the way cheaper compared to it. Yeah, but the problem with the lead acid is you can't do a deep discharge. If you ever get a lead acid battery to deep discharge, that's it. You got to replace it. Whereas a lithium iron phosphate, you can do that like 15,000 times in its entire life. That's the reason why. It's a lot more resilient. So, yeah. You may, like, think about, like, hey, for upfront costs, a lead-acid battery is cheaper. But down the road, it can actually end up being more too.
Or anything. This does not belong in a solar setup. In my opinion, this belongs in an e-waste classifying facility. That's it. Now, how do you think they responded to this complaint and the complaints of many other people that have brought up these issues?
We're going to sue you and your freaking grandchildren.
Including the class action lawsuit that is being filed against them right now, the Berdner versus Dragonfly Energy, which is one of the, I think the plaintiff, it looks like, is one of the biggest people in the industry. He is the president of the PVICC. He has worked with NEC and the Underwriters Laboratory to create many of the UL standards we use today. Do you think that they're going to say, okay, maybe we got something wrong? No, it's not a bug. You see the thing melting and oxidizing and looking like that. That's a feature. I shit you not. They're saying that this is not a bug, it's a feature. They literally wrote an entire section of their website explaining that this is not a bug, this is a feature.
So here's the email. One of our forum members got this in response, and it's from Matthew Adams from Dragonfly Energy Systems or Battleborn Batteries. To address questions that have recently surfaced about terminal heating.
Wow. They're really defending this? Like, look at we saw how warped the entire chassis is.
In fastener design, it is important to highlight that what some observers view as failure is a safety device working exactly as intended. The aluminum used in our 100 amp hour PAX positive terminal is a purpose-built thermal failsafe. It is engineered so that the plastic deforms and disconnects when excess heat is present at the terminal. What in here is disconnecting? Let's read that again. It is engineered so that the plastic deforms or melts and disconnects when excess heat is present at the terminal. Having intermittent failure and disconnect is not a failsafe mechanism. That is a failure.
Now, people in their forum have brought up that this seems like an example of retro.
Yep. And basically then you are admitting now you have batteries failing. So if you're talking about, oh yeah, that's a specific failsafe for our batteries failing, then that is proof that, okay, my battery failed, give me a new one.
Prospective engineering, which is something happened that's horrible, and instead of saying, oh yeah, my bad, we screwed up, oh yeah, that's intended to work that way. And as J.D. Warren says, on a related note, if this wasn't completely retrospective, ass-covering bullshit, surely they could dig up the original design documents that describe the reliance and oxidation as a feature. I don't know how many people have decided to read through all of this. I did. This is why I'm releasing this video on Sunday instead of on Friday, because I decided to try and really dig deep to figure out if I could find any proof of them ever advertising this feature before they got called out for their batteries melting. And I could not. Some of the documents that I went through. The 2017 BB10012 Manual and Installation Guide, no mention of a safety terminal. The Heat Enable Instruction Guide, no mention of a safety terminal. Dragonfly's Form S1 discussing product safety, also no evidence of a safety terminal.
Built yours off an old forklift battery. Nice.
Thermal fuse. It describes a thermal interrupt built on a different reversible principle. And I quote, based on a difference in the thermal coefficients of expansion, the insulating component may expand axially relative to the electrodes with increasing temperature. So the device may, and I quote, transition between an open and closed configuration as temperature rises and falls. The technical node's production terminal works the opposite way, by a polymer that softens at a shutdown that is permanently and irreversible by design. So they're bragging about this as a safety feature, yet in their patents, where you would expect that they're just going to go soup to nuts and everything that makes their product unique and amazing, they don't mention it. They actually mention the exact opposite as a feature. The Tiffin Motorhomes component.
Congratulations, you just played yourself.
Manual for the Dragonfly does not go over any of this. And then on December of 2025, Will Prowse publishes his video. In February 2026, there was a class action lawsuit made against them that says that this positive terminal is a universal design defect and fire safety hazard. And that's when...
Oh, they do have a lawsuit.
It's a feature, not a bug. If there's a feature of my products and it is a safety feature...
Oh yeah, that's right, they do. Duh, that's what this is about.
Safety, like a gigantic...
God, my brain is burned out from today.
With that safety feature, wouldn't that be a bullet point on my website? Wouldn't that be somewhere in the instruction manual, in the patent, anywhere? Do you find it a little bit weird that we can't find any mention of this safety feature in the past documented 9 years of this company's history?
Pretty sure anyone would call that out as a feature at any point in time, because that's kind of a thing that, you know, would jump out at you, like the Rolls-Royce retracting, you know, emblem. You know, because people kept stealing them, so now they automatically retract within seconds. Not even seconds, but like milliseconds.
Now here's a power supply that can charge this battery. We have it set to 14.6 volts and 95.65 amps.
That's a big boy.
And let's see what happens when we hook it up. Uh-oh, I just heard something. That was arcing. So let's turn it on. And now we're charging with 95 amps. And let's zoom in and see what's happening.
Ooh, that is not a... see that? That is an arc fault.
There is arcing inside. That is not a disconnect.
Yeah, that is an arc fault. That is not a disconnect. A full disconnect would have that entire bolt have had sheared off. That is a fire risk. That is not a safety feature. Yeah.
Show me any UL listed device that allows for arcing after it's supposed to disconnect. That's ridiculous. If I hold it still, it will get crazy hot. It's getting hot right now. And right now we're at 202 degrees Fahrenheit. And the temperature is rising.
She got through the hassle of changing a Linux installation from an HDD to an NVMe. Yeah, it's not that much of a hassle. Just, copy it with the DD command. You can literally copy it bit for bit. You can look up how to do it. Just clone your entire disk. Actually, just use CloneZilla. Fire up a live USB with CloneZilla. Move one disk to the other.
So bad, we're not charging with 95.
Wait, is that battery even UL stamped? That's a good question.
And yesterday, I got this plastic to smoke even more. So we're getting more of this safety feature by deforming the plastic, and it's getting worse. This protects the internal cell structure by interrupting the current, preventing further heat buildup and thermal runaway. That is absolutely and utterly false. It is not interrupting the current. It is still arcing, and there's still current going through it. Next, there's
not have to worry about fstab or other files. No, you'd literally copy the entire computer.
Such as
down to the bit layer,
systems operating
down to the bit level,
or uncontrolled short circuits. It is one of several intentional protective mechanisms within our packs and is necessary for.
And then you just expand it.
Standards. Next, with loose external connections, you think that you want to get this hot enough for this plastic?
You will need to make sure that your SSD is at least equal to or larger than your HDD. Just keep that in mind.
Plastic to melt from a loose external connection for this to not work? That is plain silly. This is not something that's reliable. Next, systems operating outside specification. Again, add a fuse. Also, the BMS has safety features, including overcurrent protection. Now, if there was a BMS failure and this couldn't disconnect and there was a shorted MOSFET, then sure, I could say, uh-oh, this was probably abused with an inductive load, but it's not. Everything works perfectly. What does not work is this. The overcurrent protection device is not disconnecting anything. And the final one is uncontrolled short circuit.
Yeah, like if they were actually talking about hold on, let me get my words together. If they were talking about a safety device, like a fuse that physically disconnects, that'd be one thing. This is a structural failure. This is not an intentional failure. This is a structural failure.
What does that actually mean? Uncontrolled. If you have a short circuit, you need to have a protection device because you're not there to control it. You need to have a fuse or circuit breaker that's UL listed. If a laboratory is passing this as an overcurrent protection device, they need to be investigated. This is not disconnecting. It is not. And if this is the last safety mechanism and it's not disconnecting, then this is not a safety feature. This design prevents heat from migrating into the cell stack, meaning it is designed to stop conditions that could otherwise create a thermal runaway event. That is absolutely and utterly false. Look at the color of the...
Jesus, you're freaking retconning. You're freaking retconning your features of your device into ways that don't even make sense, that actually can open you up to more liability, potentially. Like, dude, just... They could have just, like, replaced the battery. They could have just... But I think the problem is if they would replace the battery, the problem would have still been there. And I think they're kind of maybe aware there is a structural issue, and they don't want to address it. Because then that would basically be them admitting they have an F-up, and they may have to admit to a recall.
This bus bar. Everything on here is overheating these cells, and it's not disconnecting. It is still arcing. This is 100% an issue. To say that this is a safety feature is wild to me. I've heard people say this. I've heard other channels say this before, and I was like, what are these guys talking about? And now the company also says it as well. And I'm not buying it. Look at it. Just look at it. Open up more batteries. We're going to get more people to post these, and we're going to make complaints. This is not okay. And if a lab certified this and said that it conforms to a standard, I question that. I think they should be investigated.
I would agree with that statement.
Electrical professional and ask them, do you think this is a good design? I don't think they're going to agree with it.
It's not a good design, not to mention, like I was saying earlier, 2 nuts isn't gonna... a lot of people think, okay, if I just, put one nut down and then I put one nut on top of that other nut, that's gonna keep that other nut from moving. That actually isn't true. It's where washers come in place and stuff like that. What they usually do is use thermal glue. Yeah, you need to bond it in some way. But this is ridiculous. This is cutting corners.
Whoa! That was a big arc. Holy cow. Even say visible damage at the terminal is typically the result of the safety feature activating. If there's so much heat that it's changing the color of the terminal, that is not a safety feature. Imagine if I said that about a breaker on my home's panel. I'm like, oh yeah, it melted. That's just a safety feature. No, that's not acceptable. Now something...
Yeah, imagine your car just freaking melting its engine to keep you from running into a child. A little bit of an extreme example, but you get my point.
We noticed on the forum is that when people posted a Battleborn problem, there would be a video accompanied by it, and then it would be removed from YouTube randomly.
Damn!
I don't know how, I don't know why, but it seems a little fishy. I've been to their company, and they seem like nice people, but that just seems a little weird. And those posts are still on the forum. Look for yourself. Now, luckily with my channel and my forum, we keep the information up. I deal with these companies all the time, and since I did the first review on this, I've opened up like 100 batteries. So I'm used to this now. And this right here is a problem.
Oh yeah.
I think there was a single comment saying that it wasn't a problem on my video. Everybody agrees. Somebody at Battleborn does not want to admit this. And it is a problem. If I say something stupid, there's 100 engineers to correct me. But this one, nobody corrected me. This is straight to the point. You just zoom in and show people what's wrong. It's not disconnecting. It's creating a loose connection, and that's the problem. Having something loose is not a disconnect. That's not okay.
That's just a loose connection. And under the National Electrical Code, as we know, an arc fault happens whenever a loose connection happens, and when a loose connection is found, it is required to be replaced immediately upon discovery. Yeah. This is like so against the basics of electrical safety.
If I looked in my home electrical panel, the breaker flipping is how I know that I'm safe, not by the breaker melting. If the breaker is melting and components are changing colors inside of it, that is not okay.
So unfortunately, I found
Right. I mean, if you made the case for, like, a fuse, which is a device that is intentionally designed to break when overloaded, whereas a circuit breaker has a piece of metal that, under the same principle, it basically will have enough heat that it will flex and then flip the switch. A fuse, I could accept that. Okay, you can replace a fuse. You know, put a breaker in this, but this is just bad construction.
found a new problem. So with the new machine, I cycled it 7 times. In the first 2 times, I pulled full capacity. But then on the third cycle, I pulled 76 amp hours.
Ooh.
Why did this happen? So I tested it again, and I got 68 amp hours.
Wow.
These tests were back to back. So it was getting worse. So I thought, hey, maybe it's getting too hot, and the BMS is cutting it out. So I let the battery cool down, and I tested it again. And then I got 103 amp hours, and I was like, great, it's working again. So right after this test, I tested it again, and I got 50 amp hours. And that was so bad, so I tested it right after, and I got 70 amp hours. So if you do back-to-back testing, you don't get the full capacity. This thing has a high temperature disconnect, and it shuts down. But how can I do my testing if we can't get the full capacity? So now we have a new problem. Keep in mind that the cycling I've done is charging at 49 amps and discharging with 99 amps, so we're using it as advertised. But if you do it back to back, you're not going to get the full capacity. And this is winter time. This is not in a hot environment. This shop stays at 75 degrees all year round for these tests.
That's weird. That makes no sense. Yeah. I mean, I would accept a 5 to 10% drop. Okay? If I saw a 5 to 10% drop under load, I'd be like, okay, that's a little something, but this is a bit extreme.
These batteries like that temperature. Now, between the first test and the second test, I went to sleep. So it actually got to cool down and I pulled full capacity. And then the next day, I did this test right after this one, and guess what? It disconnected short. Now, if this is certified to a UL standard, how did they not catch this? It's rated on the sticker, on the battery for 100 amps, but I can't pull that. And I'm getting consistent results. There's no surprises here. Take your own Battleborn if you have one and do this test. I really want to cut into it, but we need to get some more cycles on here. So I ordered a cycle machine so we can put 100 or 1,000 cycles on this. This thing's rated for 3,000 to 5,000 cycles. We're already having problems on the 7th cycle. That's not good. But
Damn.
once we cycle it a lot, then we can open it up and check this terminal and see if it's having the same issue.
They have a machine to just cycle your battery? Guess they got a machine for everything.
Now currently I have over 20 batteries being offered to me to make a video on that has a failure, but I don't know how it was used. And I want to cycle it as advertised and then open it up on camera to see what has happened.
Everything you've seen so far are just batteries that people send him. You don't know what happens to them.
I mean, that's fair. You want to use the battery as advertised.
He purchases with his own money and tries on screen. This is a battery that he bought brand new and decided to test, and he's going to show you exactly how he runs the tests.
So I have an update for the Battleborn battery. I bought it brand new with my own money to recreate the overheating positive terminal issue. And I put 30 cycles on it, and guess what? It literally melted.
Holy!
Positive terminal. It's something else. And today we're going to continue testing it. Now I bought this battery brand new so I know it wasn't abused. I used the proper cycle.
So now we got it on 2 sides of the battery.
The voltage that they recommend, and I used under the continuous discharge current and under the continuous charge current. I did everything by the book, and I didn't even test the surge or anything else. And for the first 2 cycles, I pulled full capacity. So I thought, hey, everything's working great. And then every cycle after that, it kept overheating. And at first, it was very predictable. I would let the battery cool, and then I could pull full capacity. But if I did back to back, it would overheat, and then it would disconnect. And it was working how it's supposed to. But then it kept getting worse, and I did 30 cycles manually back to back. And by the 30th cycle, I couldn't even pull more than 5 amp hours out of this thing.
Jesus!
It was getting crazy. It kept disconnecting randomly. I couldn't even do the testing. I couldn't even cycle it. I thought, hey, maybe this thing's dead. Now, all of that testing was at 49 amps charge and 99 amps discharge, so I lowered it down to see what would happen. So in the last cycle, I pulled 80 amps, and I pulled a lot more capacity, but it didn't trip the over temperature circuit and it melted the case. But realize that all the problems I've been talking about is with the positive terminal. I don't even know what's going on under here. So today we're gonna cycle it with 80 amps and we'll see how much it melts. I'll have a fire extinguisher next to it, but just to get this case to this temperature.
$800 for this battery? And it's bullshit like this?
So unfortunately, for the last hour, I've been trying to get this thing to work, but it's totally toast. It will not charge and it will not discharge for more than a second. And I tried it on all 3 machines. So over here, we have it set to 60. I press on, we draw 1 amp for a second, and then it instantly disconnects. So we need to open this thing up and see what happened. Woo! Holy cow, this thing is burnt. All of these are completely loose.
What the hell?
Crisp. It's all because this plastic melted, just like on the positive terminal. All of this melted inside as well, and it's right on the cell. All right, we need to cut it.
The whole entire thing is just built like shit. Wow, look how loose that is. Look at that. This is a safety feature? And that's supposed to cause disconnect? That's not a safety feature. That's a hazard. That's a hazard. Like, look how loose that is.
A hole through the case. Holy cow. Having plastic holding bolts for conductors is not a smart idea, guys. This is such a bad design. It's crazy. And imagine how hot these cells got. They're right here. If this copper is getting hot enough to flake off and change color, that means these are at a really high temperature as well.
It's so cheaply made. Like, come on, guys. You could have done, like, a bus bar. You could have done, like, a bus bar. You could have, you know, welded on, like, just made a custom, you know, L piece there. Or, you know, like, basically kind of like, you know, like a little Tetris weird kind of combo there. But they cheaped out. Like, I would take all the cells. The cells seem like they'd be good. Unless they were too effed.
And this was used within spec on the data sheet. What if you didn't? What if you used surge loads? So which side's worse? This connection with these loose or the positive terminal? I think...
Look how undersized some of the wiring looks to me.
This might be worse. Also, there's heat damage all the way to these...
Oh no, those are just sensor wires, I'm betting.
Screws. And these cells are discolored. And look at the BMS. It discolored the heatsink and the...
Holy shit.
This has nothing to do with the positive terminal. This is another bad design. The tightness of this terminal is dependent on this plastic not deforming. And over time, some of my viewers were saying with plastic flow, this will always deform. It's not if, but when.
Yeah, it's always going to deform because even when you're talking about under regular operating temperatures, things can happen with plastic that it will deform from you know, heat, all of that, where the battery itself still is operating, but the plastic will warp whatever reason.
Same is true over here. I mean, look at the charring in here.
Yeah, you probably could repurpose those. Jesus!
Even the plastic that the BMS is on melted. That was a lot of heat. I think this is worse than the positive terminal issue. Also, this is not a strenuous test. Take any battery on the market rated for 100 amps and charge and discharge with 100 amps and it will not do this. And for some people, they're not testing it very hard. But 30 cycles at the rated current capacity and it can't even do that without smoking into a charred oblivion? That is not okay. This was a brand new battery. And it did this after 30 cycles. If you have one of these batteries,
that's $800.
Swapping it up for a higher quality battery. This is not okay. Last week, I drove 2,000 miles in the snow.
Jeez!
To pick up 15 dysfunctional Battleborn batteries.
Spoiler alert, those 15 batteries, yeah, you could take a wild guess how they tested. I'm not going to keep playing his stuff because he has literal hours of videos going over this, but I'm hoping that you get the point by now.
And what's driving me crazy is I'm proving this problem over and over again. And guess what Battleborn Batteries posted? A public statement about this issue. They said that Battleborn remains fully confident in the safety, reliability, and quality of the batteries our customers rely on every day. We understand that questions about battery safety are important, and we take those seriously by evaluating them through data, testing, and field performance. Some online commentary has raised concerns based
batteries from Wish are better.
In theoretical scenarios that do not reflect how our products are designed, built, and installed and operated in customer systems. I just melted one of your batteries.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's they want to avoid a recall.
It's a safety issue, and this response is ridiculous. You guys are pathetic. This company is a liability to anybody that buys their products. I can make this...
It's even worse, is not only is the recall, if they recall, it's going to cost them money, but this whole PR issue is going to cost them even more money than the recall actually would. Because, like, here's the thing. Had they've done a recall, none of us would be talking about this. It would have just been some battery recall. Some people got batteries replaced. Okay. Cool. Now you have tons of people talking about this. Literally millions of people are aware about this. That are not going to buy your product. And even if they do happen to eventually fix the issue at hand, will never want to buy the product because of the issues associated with said products and the response to said issues being pointed out. They also have conflicting data sheets on diff websites with the same... Wait, what? Same model. What the...
happen on any battery anytime.
Really?
You can reproduce it in a brand new battery. I've done it twice now with not that much current. I have all of my data public for my cycle testing machine and everything else. And links for that are under each individual video, so please check it out if you want to learn more.
Let's get to some parts of this lawsuit now. Prowse also tested batteries after removing the lid, which removed a critical structural component of the failsafe and invalidated his results. Removal of the battery's lid allowed Prowse to conduct a staged demonstration in his video, where he physically manipulated the battery's terminal clamp to force an electrical arc, and then reacted on camera with theatrical excitement. Woo, that was a big arc, instead of acknowledging Dragonfly's explanation in the technical note of the flaw in his testing.
It was like later, the same for Harbor Freight jack stands years ago.
By the epoxy bond to the structure. With the terminal free to move, the torque from the attached cables drives continuous relative motion between the brass terminal and the aluminum bolt. The result is repeated arcing as is briefly interrupted and reestablished at each new contact point. This appears dramatic on video, but it is an artifact of the disassembly, not a characteristic of the intact assembly. Now, if this is only occurring as a result of him opening the unit, the question that I would have is, why do these units look so cooked before he's actually opened them? The battery that
this battery issue giving bricks and minifigs Lego lawsuit. Yo, that shit was wild. Have y'all been paying attention to that bricks and minifigs drama? The dude like ran to Mexico and now the store is shut down and bricks and minifigs basically admitted like, yeah, we may have had his stuff all along, and, yeah. Like, what is with companies trying to do the shitty thing and thinking they're gonna get away with it, when all along, had you have done the right thing, this would have just been another day and no one would have given a fuck.
Prowse displays the discoloration on camera before opening the unit, which can also...
Patreon said, no, we won't delete the videos, sue us. That was one of the most based videos I've ever seen.
...also be seen in this video. He then...
I love the delivery he had of it. It was like, it is much to our, you know, like, it made it sound like he's going to actually do it. And he's like, yeah. We won't delete the video. Don't sue us.
bought a new 100 amp hour unit with his own money and cycled it sealed within the datasheet's ratings. Its case melted at the negative side after 30 cycles, a controlled test that Hackaday covered in print. After letting the battery cool down and trying again with an 80 amp discharge current, the negative terminal side of the enclosure began to melt. His instrumented 75 amp hour test cycle ran the battery sealed for its entire 99-hour life and opens it only after it died. So they're saying that the reason that it's having this issue is because you opened the battery, but he opened the battery because they looked like they were melting. Are you kidding? This has to be a joke. Let's go.
They're trying to do the whole, like, what is that principle in quantum physics or something like that, where by the virtue of merely observing the thing happening, you could be altering the thing happening? You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember what that thing is. But basically, like, something like with an observation or whatever. But you get the point where, basically they're trying to say, like, yo, by virtue of you looking at it and looking for the problem, there is a problem. So the problem only exists because you found the problem. But the problem would exist if you wouldn't find it. You know, wouldn't go looking. That's kind of what it felt like to me. When it's like, no, the only reason I opened the case was because, well, there literally was smoke. No, not Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger is both alive and dead. This is a quantum physics thing. Quantum physics observation. Yeah. Observer effect. That's literally what it's just called. Where the act of measuring, observing a quantum system irrevocably alters its state. Basically, what they were trying to say is that by virtue of you looking, by you opening up the battery, you cause the issue that you're looking for, and the issue wouldn't exist if you weren't looking for it. You get what I'm saying?
For the rest of their nitpicking on his statements. He said, and when I tested it with InSpec as well. The lawyer's response to this is, Prowse's testing is intentionally misleading. The battery arrived from a viewer who is already experiencing charging problems, making any with InSpec claim about its condition impossible to verify and the starting condition of the battery unknown. He's not making a claim that the battery was with InSpec when he got it. His claim was that he was testing it within specification, which brings me to the point that pisses me off more than anything else. Let's go to the part of this lawsuit that you deserve to have something shoved up your ass. Prowse's testing is intentionally abusive and invalid.
I love that he kept that part in, and you saw that he, like, edited it, but, like, you could see, like, he just kept that part in.
The abuses demonstrated in the video and accompanying release data include that the charge current was simultaneously 49 amps, 30% over the 37.5 maximum specified. And now, you are cooked. This is why you should have dropped that lawsuit on Friday, my friend. You feel that, don't you? Right through your suit. The heat is on, Dennis, and I'm not talking about your batteries. Where's he getting these numbers from? So if I go to Battleborn's website and I scroll down and I look for the datasheet and I go for the specifications, let's see if I could find myself a datasheet on this battery. Documentation. Man, let's go for a datasheet. What do I see?
Okay.
I'm gonna scroll down to the datasheet in the battery in question, and it says max charge current 37.5 amps. Now, was it always like this? I'm not really sure. I don't know if I can trust a company like this. What's happens in the Wayback Machine? Oh, wait, they're not on the Wayback Machine. Damn, I guess I can't check and see if they ever had a different number over there. Oh, you feel that, don't you? Right through your suit, my friend. Let's check another vendor. Defender, Battleborn, BB. We scroll down, and we're gonna go over.
This is like, you could look at like ham radio shops and like all that. Like ham radio outlets, they often will have like the actual like manuals for the product as well, so you don't have to go to the vendor.
We hit a datasheet. Now what happens when we click datasheet? This is a Battleborn battery datasheet for the BB1275, and when I scroll down to max charge current, what number do I see here, asshole? 50 fucking amps! Don't gaslight me, asshole! I told you that the entire fucking internet was gonna comb through and find every single area where you've got something wrong. I gave you legit to scrub everything. I didn't even start looking until Friday. You lazy fuck. I'm not even mad at the fact that you lie. I'm not mad at the fact that you produce bad products. I'm mad at how bad you are at covering it up.
Damn.
This is the thing for me. I'm still mad that you did something wrong. And, you know, this is why I made these no AI slop rules, because people would keep writing me emails that were written by AI. I'm not necessarily as mad at the fact that people are writing me AI-generated emails. I'm mad at how fucking lazy they are to not take 5 seconds to make it not look like they cheated. You make over $600,000 a year, sir.
Jeez.
Your company loses $40 to $70 million a year. You have shareholders' equity of somewhere like $10 or $11 million. You're probably going to be gone in 3 months. You're
Damn.
A year. $600,000 a year. I would expect that the CEO at least be able to lie. But maybe that's what's happening with inflation. Maybe that's what happened after COVID and the Iran war and everything else. Maybe you need 7 figures to get a CEO that can lie worth a shit. This is fucking ridiculous. And when you read through the rest of this document, they start to imply that because Will had an affiliate arrangement that went away, that maybe that's why he's saying bad things about the batteries now.
Jesus. You know, I've had like some people say shit like that because it's like, weren't you affiliated with this company at one time? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm no longer affiliated with them, but that is not, one thing has nothing to do with the other. I mean, many of us get affiliated with companies that we like and then find out that, you know, things change, and then we're like, okay, we're not, you know, going to support them anymore. But to blame... I mean, you're talking about... You're basically saying somebody would have had to have... this conspiracy of getting like 20, 30 of your batteries intentionally all faulty on videos to go out of their way to make you look bad. I don't know, that just seems a little far-fetched.
We had an arrangement with him from 2019 until 2025, and then it ended and he started making bad videos. But what they're implying there doesn't even make any sense. Of course, if a company's products start to suck, I'm going to stop recommending them. And this is something that I've been doing for a very long time on my own channel. As I write, Dragonfly's theory of motive is that Prowse turns in the batteries only after the money stopped. The dated record, including their pleading, is more complicated. Prowse first tore down a Battleborn battery in November 2019 and praised it. The complaint quotes him from that video.
It's about a lawsuit going on about some very faulty batteries.
The affiliate relationship ran from January 2019 to October 2025. That it paid
a huge risk.
$1,000 over those years, and that it deactivated his affiliate link on October of 2025. But the complaint's own chronology doesn't line up cleanly with the criticism only after the deal ended. Dragonfly pleads that in August of 2025, Prowse began posting negative comments about Battleborn and began asking his forum members to send him defective or failed Battleborn batteries, and that it deactivated his affiliate link on October of 2025 in response to growing negativity. On Dragonfly's own pleading, then, the criticism began when the affiliate relationship was still in place. Will ended the relationship because of the criticism, not the other way around. I do this on my...
I would do the same thing. We, as, you know, content creators who are professionals, have an obligation that when we are endorsing a product, that it has a level of integrity. And if it doesn't match that, we will walk, because it can harm our integrity too. And that seems fair. Look, if I heard, like, let's just say Proton if Proton really actually did something that seriously was, like, extremely out of line, like, that would require me to no longer support them, yeah, I'd stop supporting them immediately and deactivate my links and everything. No biggie. They haven't, though. Some people might say, well, you know, this, and it's a lot of people reading headlines and not details, but that's a different story.
My channel all the time. Hacko was making good products. So I told you the tools I use and why I bought them. Yeah. And I talked a lot about them and I evangelized them. And then they started, price go up, the quality go down, and there were competitors that came out that were way better. So I showed you just how poorly their $900 product worked against a $300 product. And then when they started that, we're not going to give you schematics so you can fix something that we don't even sell anymore, that was when I said, okay, fuck this company, don't buy their stuff. When it comes to Repair Shopper, that was a great program that I used to use. I walked you through how to use it. I had no affiliate arrangement at the time with them. I was not getting paid by them to recommend them. And they made a really good piece of software. And they kept updating that software to have new features. So I told you why you should use it. And then they got sold to somebody else. They changed their terms to say that there is a bunch of new data collection and training on AI.
Oh, jeez.
At the time, this shit didn't even work. So I told people not to use it. This is
fair enough. Yeah.
When companies get shittier, you stop telling people to buy their products. So Will Prowse had an affiliate relationship with them. They started selling garbage. Will Prowse decided not to have an affiliate relationship with them.
Seems fair.
Like, it's not that hard to understand. They're trying to make it sound like we stopped paying Will, so Will started saying mean things about us, when in reality, he decided that he was not going to tell his audience to use your products because they were bad. Now, they do quote him saying that he's going to make more money recommending people somewhere else. And that is true. If I'm telling people that this product is $600 and it's not great, and I get 10% of the commissions, this product is good, it's $300 and I get 10% of the commissions, which one am I going to sell more of? Which one is going to get me more affiliate revenue? Obviously, this one. Recommending your audience buy a better product means more people are going to buy it, which means more money for you. There's nothing sinister there. That's just basic fucking common sense. I have 97 emails in my inbox right now. 97 emails just about your company, going over every single thing that I have yet to put in that wiki article. And it's all going to be in that wiki article because I see what you're doing. You know that this class action lawsuit is likely going to sink you. Because you know that that class action lawsuit is going to sink you, you need to discredit these people so that when they testify, they look biased or they look like a hostile witness. You need to get rid of Will Prowse so that he can't testify in that lawsuit against you. And we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to allow Will Prowse's credibility to be dragged through the mud. Yours should be. Will Prowse is not the one that has two products with the exact same model number that have two separate capacities listed on two separate data sheets on two separate websites. You are. Will Prowse is not the one that is pruning out of their content. You are. Or maybe, I'm open to the idea, if I'm being wrong, I'm open to the idea that maybe it's just a coincidence that every battery company that sells piece of shit products and lies to their users and doesn't have a record in archive.org. Maybe you didn't ask for it to be taken down. You're cooked. When I read this lawsuit, they're implying that Will started advertising their products because they stopped getting paid, rather than Will decided, I don't care about your affiliate revenue anymore because your products suck. And again, products can go down in quality over time. You may have heard of this term called enshittification on this channel. It's not just software and cloud stuff.
Go to bigbatteries.com for batteries.
Now, let's say that you don't believe me. Let's say that I have no credibility. Fuck me. I hate this guy, asshole. With
There's a lot of battery sites out there.
Fuck Will Prowse. Clickbait asshole YouTuber trying to monetize. Fuck him. Fuck Will Prowse. Let's say that you hate all of us. Would you believe Dragonfly Energy? Something important to go over here is something called warranty obligations. This is something you're going to see in their SEC filings. Now, to be clear, this is subjective, not objective. I can't tell you why it is they made this decision. I'm just going to read you my interpretation of it. SEC filings have something called warranty obligations. I run a repair shop. It's not publicly traded, so I don't have to do this, but if I were publicly traded, I'd have to put something there that says, here's how much money I expect I may have to pay out in the next few years for warranty. So people come to my store and they get things fixed by me.
Right.
If there's, let's say I think maybe 10 screens fail every year. The screen is $300 a piece, and I pay maybe $30 in labor for somebody to do it. I may put, I think I may have $800.
Yeah, estimating like 10% failure or something like that. Yeah.
What I see. Their warranty obligations from 2023 to 2025 went from about 300 million to around 500 million to around 800 million. That's a very big increase in 3 years. And what I also notice is that the revenue seems to be going down. So revenue fell from 64.4 million to 58.6 million. So this cannot be explained by them saying, well, we sold so many more batteries. Of course, we're just going to have more warranty claims because they're selling more batteries. Their revenue is down, but the warranty obligations are up. Now, the way I interpret this is that people who work for Dragonfly Energy, people who are writing this report, in my opinion, do not have the highest of confidence in their products. If I did less repairs this year than last year, I did less work, less sales, but I thought I'm going to have more people coming back for warranty. What does that say about the stability and quality of those repairs and my confidence that I have in them? They have some reason to believe, in my opinion, based on their own writing, that there's some reason that their batteries are all going to start coming back for warranty. And I don't think that that reason is they assume that consumer protection law is getting more strict in America, because that sure as fucking happen anytime soon. In my opinion, I'll leave it at that, because again, I can't read people's minds. I believe they're writing that because they believe that their own batteries are shit. I told you to drop that fucking lawsuit last week. You didn't. I guarantee you, the entire internet is going to be digging through every single data sheet, every single thing you've ever said, every single product you've ever created, every single engineer. Engineers can be very autistic in nature, and more importantly, people who are autistic in nature, they really don't like scammers. They don't like people that make shit up. Above all, they don't like people that make shit up while selling unsafe products. Nope. I would suggest that you do a recall program on all of these, but I understand why you can't. It looks like stockholders' equity in this company is about $10 or $11 million, and you appear to lose $40 to $60 million a year. This company is cooked. One way or another, they're done. It doesn't matter how this lawsuit even goes. Even if this lawsuit went perfectly, you can't exist if you have 10 or 20 or $30 million in the bank and you lose 40 to 60 a year. There's no saving this. The only thing that I think could be saved here and salvaged is the reputation of the CEO. You have the choice to bow down gracefully, accept that it's over, and move on. It's over. It's just a question of whether or not you are going to take down your reputation along with you. Game over, man! Game over! Admit the wrongdoings. Admit that you took the wrong path. Do a mea culpa. People forgive. But if you don't give them an opportunity to forgive, they're not going to forget. I'll make sure of that one. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something.
All right. All right, let's continue off. Thanks, Hans, for locating where I was last time.
It's an error that popped up inside Real Debrid that essentially states your link is blocked because of DMCA law, so basically copyright protection. And then I started digging into things, and it got...
That's a little quiet. Hold on. It's not just you. It is really quiet.
Interesting. Actually, Real Debrid users noticed that they are key.
This video is just quiet. Sorry.
If you've ever used links before, you'll probably recognize some of these names. And essentially, a percentage.
So what's the point in having a microphone if you're going to keep it, like, so far away from your mouth? Or, you know, you're going to have the volume so low? Like, dude, it's one of those DJI mics. Just clip it to your shirt. Why do people not, like, why do people hold their mics? Just clip that shit.
Sometimes 100% of links with these names have been completely blocked from Real Debrid service, which, if you know anything about streaming and that side of the world, then you know that that's pretty much what everybody uses their service for, or at least a major percentage. Debrid essentially responded and said they allow trusted users, trusted flaggers, to flag keywords that will then be blocked. I wonder who these flaggers are. Maybe the copyright owners. Of course, that kind of makes sense. Because Real Debrid's support actually sent this message right here that says, so you are the reason why we are in trouble for your piracy activities by not respecting our terms. So yes, you have been blocked, and we will be more than happy to share your details to the copyright owners. So essentially, Real Debrid, the company that knowingly takes people's money, knowing they use it to access links that might be against copyright laws, getting mad at a customer and blocking their account for doing that.
So wait, Real Debrid, the site that actually, you know, would give you access to illegal pirated content, is now getting upset at people for using their services for illegal pirated content. Am I missing something here?
Real Debrid, you have known this is what your service has been used for as long as I can remember, 8+ years, if not longer. That is a majority of your customer base. And let's be clear, this is not some random customer service agent. Like, this guy is Mav. This is like an owner or like somebody a little higher up. I think that's a crazy thing to say. Why not just be like, yo, sorry, we can't, you know, allow you to use our service for this anymore because laws have changed. See ya, right? But they I don't know. They should just make an announcement because that's a wild thing. You should definitely...
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Apple update 26.5. Update with that. Update. Hey!
Like a big bag, riding through Columbus in the M-class, tint glass, burning backwoods, dropping hemp ass, pimp bash.
FireGod 1991 tip $20. Love FireGod. See you at DEF CON.
Thank you for that. Appreciate you. See you at DEF CON for sure. Let's see. Apple update 26.5 updated without app auto update.
3 days ago, I opted out on the iOS new update. I opted out. I did not want it. So I clicked automatic updates off. Right? I didn't trust it. They want to put ads in it. They say, oh, please just download it. It's going to be great. By the way, we're going to be target adding you while you're driving through maps. I don't like that. I like driving with maps without getting an advertisement on my fucking screen. Anyhow, I opted out for it.
Let me process this for a second. You don't want to update your phone, which had security updates in it, which you should update, because it would update Apple Maps on your iOS device, and you couldn't have used the many other GPS navigation apps out there. You're telling me there were, like, no other options out there? Your only option was not to update your phone. And to, you know, keep from auto... This is what I don't understand about the average user. Oh, I don't want to update my phone because there's just this one, like, little inconvenient feature here. When we're over here like, there are serious security issues that need to be patched. Waze is pretty good. I use Google Maps. I mean, I know some friends that use, like, was it OpenStreetMaps and stuff like that? I don't know if they use that on iOS. Is it on iOS? But there's a few ones out there. The point being...
This morning, I wake up, and it's, hola, como esta, Chinese lettering, different fucking languages with their Apple happy bullshit that they throw on.
Okay, so hold on. Apple 26.5 critical security. Yep, that's why. Okay, so there was a few features that they were adding in there. End-to-end encrypted RCS. So now we have that feature in that I've been bitching about for a while that, you know, was optional. And the over 50 critical security flaws. They probably forced that update.
They're because they're progressive people. Fuck you, Apple! I didn't ask for this. I opted out. And the funny thing is, I got a screen recording of it. And all of a sudden, hey, they went against me. I didn't want it. And now it's here. Am I the only one in the world that is getting automatic updates even though I opted out through the settings, do not update? Tell me.
Congratulations, Mac users. You got the Windows treatment for once.
In the comments, because I want to know. I'm pissed the fuck off right now.
Talked to so many new Linux users that think Linux don't need any updates after installing a Linux distro. Oof.
And
yeah.
I'm going to go back to Samsung. I'm done with this bullshit. Apple, you can suck it. You guys are the worst corporation in the world, and you can go fuck yourselves.
So let's unpackage this entire situation here. Guy does not want to update to iOS 26.5, which has end-to-end encrypted RCS features and over 50 critical security vulnerabilities patched in there that should be done. Because Apple Maps is gonna possibly present ads to him. Okay? You couldn't install another GPS app. So instead, you're gonna go to Samsung, who injects ads all over their shit. Am I missing something here? And I have an iPhone. I have a Samsung. Like, this is why when people look at cybersecurity people and they ask why we're bald, this is why. Because we're like, dude, you're the problem. It's not Apple. It's you. Sit back and think for a second here. You could have just gotten another GPS app, and most people using an iPhone, newsflash for you, weren't using Google Maps. Because I don't know if you knew this. Apple Maps didn't exist until a few years ago.
Did you know that if you come to this URL here, you can find a free API that returns dad jokes? So if I click on this tab for fetch a random dad joke, it shows me some example code that I can use to get that random dad joke. And you can even get random dad jokes as images. So for example, if I run this simple code in R, I get the dad joke, bad at golf, join the club.
Really?
This is perfect if you're just looking to practice some sort of API usage, or maybe you have a side project that this would be funny to add into. Make sure you drop a follow for more free coding resources.
Oh, that's good to know.
What's up, guys? So building your own robot just got a lot easier, guys. So MathWorks has released a open source GitHub repository packed with robotics resources for anyone interested in getting hands-on. So the repo includes examples for robot arms, ground vehicles, drones, projects that show you how to connect and deploy stuff like this. Check this out. So there's a lot more advanced demos, off-road environments, all type of stuff. Everything's well documented. There's tutorials, links that make it easy to go from concept to prototype. Guys, we're in the future, guys. We can make robots now. We can...
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh yeah, you can... There's a lot of resources in here for MATLAB. Huh.
Simulate them, whatever you want. Definitely got to check this out, guys.
All right, let's see. Draw your own circuit board.
Circuit boards didn't used to look like that. All a PCB really does is keep what would otherwise be a mess of wires organized and traceable. And Altco on YouTube proves that in this video by literally drawing one with a marker. Yes, a working circuit board with a marker.
Right.
That's kind of how they used to always be. Before we had printed circuit boards, which rely on computers to generate the angles for different traces, we had handmade ones like this that had much curvier layouts. Altco explains that this is because of the process that started in the 70s involving computers using simple angles to lighten the load needed to build them, and it's all the PCs at the time were able to handle safely. But using a marker as a resist in an acid that breaks down copper, they were able to use a blank piece of circuit board to wear away the non-markered portions, wipe away the marker, and be left with a fully usable board that was then fastened to a neat-looking solder fan. Circuit boards did.
Yep. You can make your own PCB, it's just very caustic. It is... You use a lot of toxic chemicals. I did it when I was in high school. They had a class for making electronics and stuff as part of it.
What's up, guys? So with this, you can train billion parameter LLMs from scratch on consumer hardware, guys, on a single GPU. So most people think training an LLM needs a data center and millions of dollars, but this repo explains why that is not true at all. So you got to check this out.
Oh, damn.
From tokenization to distributed tricks, everything is open source. Definitely got to check this out, guys. All right.
I'm gonna have to look at that. Where is it? Fareed Khan Dev Train. Hold on. Let me get this. And we are looking at Fareed Khan. Dev train dash LM from scratch. Yeah, it looks handy. Probably end up using that later. Alright, what's next? I can't wait for this movie. Let's see. What is this? Highly plausible aliens on Europa are Earthlings' descendants, study says. Wait, what? A new study suggests that bacteria dispersed through space on dust grains could potentially arrive intact and alive on Jupiter's moon, Europa. Huh? Interesting. So apparently there's some... Wait, what? So they're basically arguing if there's any... Wow. So they're arguing if there's any existence of life out there. Huh. And then large lithium battery worth about $250 to $300 in each camera. Ooh. Ain't kidding. That's prom ham radio battery equipment there. To put that capacity, that's enough juice to fully recharge your phone about 20 times. So I guess that's the battery inside some of these flock cameras. I also heard there's there's like a couple dozen or so people in my city going around destroying them. I don't know anything about them, I just heard about them. At the age where girls don't ask how many IG followers you have anymore, how many forks do you have on GitHub? Alright, last video for the night I think will be this.
It's over. It's done. I am releasing a project I've been working on for myself today called Odysseus. Google, I don't have tissues, but I have baby wipes. No more smuggling. Adobe, more like, do not be no. No, that's not right. I do be thinking you, fuck! You get the point! Stupid Odysseus is my response. It is out. It is free. No tracking. No subscriptions. No funny business. It's yours and yours forever. Okay?
You really want to self-host your own AI? I like hosting my own.
Odysseus is an AI workspace. Doesn't sound interesting? Fine. But let me explain. Basically, it's Claude and ChatGPT's web UI, but self-hosted. So you get access to all of it, but better. Because let one thing be crystal clear, okay? I hate everything in this project. All of it.
Hermes is pretty good. Yeah, I was thinking about using Hermes alongside OpenClaw with MemPalace.
We live in the world. I'll end there.
To do some really interesting things.
Explain how it came to be. When I started
OpenClaw is better at simple, repetitive things.
AI, and to me that felt so powerful. Like I'm living in some sci-fi universe, and this is all on my computer. That's crazy. The point is, you realize the model that you can run at home are amazing. The problem is the way you interact with the model. Okay? Because at the time I was trying to self-host the UI for it, to get the same experience as I was paying my subscriptions for. And I realized all of these things that sort of come together and make this an amazing experience was completely missing. Where's my memory? Where's my deep research? What about the agent? What about all these simple integrations like webhooks? I spent like 2 days trying to integrate that. So that's why I started to build my own. And I thought it was funny as a meme. I'm like, look, that computer is building that computer, because I was making it code itself. It's a bit of a LARP. I shared that on this channel. In fact, my council thing became a whole thing. I don't know why. It's hidden somewhere in the code, by the way. If you want to dig it up, that's fine. I never thought I would actually release this project, but at some point I'm like, this is getting kind of good. I prefer this. This is better now. So that's why I'm sharing it with you, because I realized something very important. The more you share about yourself with AI, the better it becomes. The more it understands you, your preferences, your past experiences, your workflow, your work, your documents, your computer. The more you give it access, the better it works. But the more you do that, the more you're handing over a huge piece of yourself to all these giant tech companies.
And that's the part that I'm really the most worried about. It just, basically hit the nail on. Because there's a lot of stuff that I don't run through the big LLMs, that I still run through my own local server. And I need to make my local server a bit more beefy. And eventually, my end goal is, I don't want to use external AI for most of my needs. I may use it for some of the bigger tasks, like, Claude Opus and, things like that. But, yeah.
And that's a huge trust that you're handing over, okay? And unless you go to their website and find the specific page where you can delete all your data, and then just hoping they actually do it, you probably shouldn't do that. So that's why I realized like this project just makes more and more sense. I built it for self-hosting, but you can use it with API as well and use any model you want, obviously. And at that point, at least you own your own data. All your data is yours as it should be. And maybe you don't care about any of this stuff, that's fine. It's still just a great experience, to be honest. And I'll share why now. So here's the thing. I built Odysseus because I believe in privacy and self-hosting. All these companies, it may not seem like a big thing.
I may spin that up and actually
all this private stuff, all this
tie it in to my
It's
net.
not even about that. It's about the principle. If maybe you don't care about your private data, the reality is these companies abuse it. Your private info, your address, your phone number, your relatives, a scary level of information is stored about you. And it's
Okay, they're talking about data brokers.
if you get spammed, first of all,
We're skipping.
as an agent, obviously.
We know they're talking about data brokers, okay? We've gone through this a million times.
I never thought I would be able to integrate an agent, but I literally just stole OpenCode. OpenCode is really good. If you never used an agent before, it's basically giving AI the opportunity. You give AI the chance to run on your computer. So you can download files, run files, create files, edit files, browse the web, all this stuff. As an example, yesterday I had a video file that I wanted to transcribe so I could work on it. I said, hey, can you transcribe this video file? It found the file on my other computer. It converted the file format. It ran Whisper to transcribe the audio, and then it sent the transcription back to me. And that's a medium difficult level task for an agent, I would say. It is incredible what they can do now, even on your own computer. It's funny, I read a book that
I could use that. There's so much I could do to automate my flow.
I reviewed on this channel years ago, before all this nonsense happened. The scientist, Max Tegmark, he brought up this like hypothetical doomsday AI scenario, and it sounds exactly like an AI agent. So I know what you're thinking. Let's go quicker! The agent is self-evolving, so it might find it a little difficult the first time you do a task, but then it will write itself its own instruction. So next time it can do it much quicker. It also extracts memories from your conversation, so the more you use it, the more it will become nice to engage with Odysseus, the more it will understand you. It's kind of jarring to look at your memories because it's such a personal thing. Yeah, this is all true. I'm glad I'm the one who owns this file and not all these other tech companies. You know what I mean? It really paints a picture how much information, how easily they can gather stuff from you just from basic AI queries. Hey,
oh yeah.
Emails. I suck at email.
So I was actually thinking about this. So what I was thinking of doing was grabbing all of my data off of ChatGPT. That's where like most of my data is from where I've used an AI. But what I would like it to do is see if I can basically use that data and then have Claude go through that data and set up an Obsidian mind map. Because apparently that makes it better. Is a better way for it to reference knowledge about you. So, yeah, I learned that. So, you have markdown files, XML, and Obsidian mind maps.
Emails. I've always sucked at emails. I hate emails. Let me share with you a memory I have, and maybe you can relate. It was probably like 10 years ago. I was on a trip in Japan on holiday, and I got an email from my accountant saying, we need your signature on this file. We need it by tomorrow, and if you don't do it in time, there's going to be a penalty for you to pay. Great. Fantastic. What an amazing accountant. I remember what I thought at the time. I thought, wow, great thing that I check my email so frequently. That's what I thought. That's a thought that no one should ever think. What the fuck? No, we should not live like this. It's fucking insanity. So I made it so the AI will read your emails, and it's okay because it's a local AI, so it doesn't matter, you're not giving away any information, and it flags if it's urgent. It tells me I can do whatever I want the whole week, and I feel like it's time to reply to emails, I reply to emails. That's
Okay, if it's a local AI on my system, I'd be okay with giving it read access, not write access. Read access to a local AI box to be able to summarize and then prioritize. And then let's say there is a priority email that comes through, I could set up an integration to ping me on Signal. I think that would be cool.
At least how I want to live. And yes, I built an email client. I didn't want to, but it was just easier. Example number 2, okay? I got an email not too long ago.
Have it on a file format, yeah, for sure, but try using Mila Jovovich, GitHub for organizing. Yeah, that's MemPalace. I already mentioned that earlier. There's MemPalace, but there's Obsidian mind maps too.
Where someone asked me something so stupid, it really solidified why I added this feature, which is AI auto reply. Someone asked me that they could have done themselves. It was literally just, you had all the information, you just needed to do a basic search. Because this agent has auto reply, it had already done the search and written the reply. So all I had to do was click auto reply, review it. Yeah, it was correct, send. And it felt like the most polite fuck you to someone that they will never know. Because
Okay, I like that feature.
I don't think AI should write your emails, but
somebody uses the Signal app. Buddy. Most of us in cybersecurity are using the Signal app. Go to DEF CON and a lot of these conferences. It's not what's your phone number. It's what's your Signal. I have 5 different Signal group chats going on right now. My Signal's busier than my WhatsApp.
Sometimes, yeah, it's pretty nice.
Okay, you're a female. What the fuck does that matter? I got women in the groups that in these Signal groups. There are women that I am direct messaging on Signal. Don't give me this, well, I'm a woman, so I don't use this bullshit. There are women in cybersecurity.
Actually, I take it back. There's also like basic summary and all that stuff. That just makes it a little easier. Am I the only one with these problems? I feel like I'm the only one with this problem. I cannot be the only one with these problems. Is this how we want to live? This comes with deep research. This is a feature that a lot of AI companies will sell their product to.
Live and learn. Why don't you go look up the staff of who is on the Signal Foundation? You know what? I'm gonna do you one better. Do you know who the CEO, Signal Foundation president and CEO is? Here, I'll pull it up. Meredith Whittaker, a woman. Case closed. Now, don't give me this shit about, oh, just because you're a woman, you don't use the Signal app. The woman that literally is running the frickin' Signal app.
They're like, hey, pay for our subscription and look, you can get as much reaches as you want. I asked friends if they use AI research and they're like, oh, fuck. Why not? It's awesome. If I'm gonna buy a product, I don't want to look through a bunch of stuff online. Boring. AI, you do it. I stole this, as I mentioned, from Chinese lab. It was Tongyi Labs, by the way. But I also now have improved on it a lot. It has a visual version for it. You can chat about the result, inquire further from there. I feel like if there's ever more extra info that you need about something, it's a really nice way to get that information. Number 3, document editor. It can write files for you live so you can see it and review it yourself. I think this is the right approach that I've kept throughout. I don't want AI to do the work for me or replace the work. I want to do it, and it can help if I wanted to.
So I stole this document editor idea from Claude. It's really good, but I can't type in it.
Oh.
I don't want AI to do the work for me. It types terribly and it sounds shit. It sounds like AI immediately. But if I type whatever I want, I can just tell it, hey, fix the formatting, fix the spelling and all that, or fact check this piece here. I think it really shows how I look at AI. Like, it's a tool and it's not meant to replace what I'm doing. It can.
It's a tool and it's not meant to replace what I'm doing. That's basically what a lot of people need to understand about AI, is that it's a tool. Holy shit. I was at ISSA all day. This 3-day conference. Do you know that, like, I was, like, scrolling through all the talks? It's all pretty much about fucking AI. My talk, I think, is, like, one of only, like, 2 or 3 that are the only ones not talking about AI. AI. Meanwhile, not one damn thing about quantum cryptography and how we're, getting close to that. With quantum computing. Or the various other issues. How about how Iran has, effed up the entire, supply chains right now with the whole conflict going on there? But yeah.
By emails, code, PDFs, and a fancy dog. It can even sign documents. I don't know if that's a good idea, but hey, it can.
I wouldn't do that.
It's actually a really nice workflow because let's say you're working on something like you're writing and you want to look something up. Instead of having to tab out and look and Google or whatever. No, you don't do that. You can just ask the model to look it up. It also comes with search built in. Search for AI can actually cost a lot of money. So the fact that it's free, we don't have to talk about how it did that because Google might not like it, but it is free and it's private.
It's using SeerXNG, which I was actually planning on using to do the exact same thing what he's doing. So I'm probably going to set this up as well because he's doing some of the things I was already planning on doing. Although, I'm probably going to set up my own SeerXNG instance if he hasn't already.
I hate sounding so...
I mean, if it isn't as part of his project.
I don't know. Here's the best kicker. It has a calendar. It has to-do notes. I literally just copy-pasted Google Keep. But it is good, okay? You can also, of course, create your own characters to chat with. My favorite, Goblino. What a guy. You can even create a group chat.
Let me, where is your GitHub? There we go. So, let's see. It is a Docker. Looks like everything's just Dockerized. Okay. He's got Cloudflare Access, Tailscale Caddy, Nginx, and Trafic. Oh no, sorry. I may have to tinker with this a little bit. So it is using Olama, which is fine for this, but you'll want to use like VLLM for some other stuff. So it is setting up okay, so it does need a SeerXNG instance. So I still have to set that up. Okay, that's good to know. That answers that question.
With them. I created this and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is fucking sad. Why am I making fake group chats? Jesus Christ. Well, it's there and it works, you know? But it has so much more. Because I'm an epic minimalist. Everything is in one place. I don't have to think about trying to integrate it with other fucking things. It's just one place and it works. So I recommend checking it out. Is that it? Oh fuck, I forgot. Cookbook. It has Cookbook. Cookbook solves all the problems with self-hosting AI. BF16, FP8, ABQ. What the fuck is a guff? There is so much to know when you're trying to self-host AI, and this is cookbook.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when I first started mining cryptocurrency. There's a lot of things that I had to pick up on.
Is my way to try and make it more simple. There are more simple programs that you can run, but I feel like they make it too simple. You miss out all the magic. Cookbook can download models, it scans your hardware, which is the most difficult thing. Like when you're trying to self-host AI, what can I actually run on my computer? I don't know. All these things, variables to take into account. It gives you a score. Just go with the score. I found amazing models through this. You can also serve the model directly in Cookbook, and it's just added directly into Odysseus. I remember sometimes just adding the fucking endpoint was such a problem. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to write /W1 after. Or was it model or models? Why doesn't either fucking work? It just adds it automatically. I don't have to think about it. It solves all the pain of self-hosting. That is a lie, but it makes it a hell of a lot easier. Oh, it also has image editor. That's right.
Why does it have an image editor?
That was a good idea. I've been trying to replace Photoshop, and I have to be honest, I have not found the solution. I thought GIMP was it for sure, but my decrepit old brain is too far gone, okay? All the key commands, all the locations are too far ingrained in my brain after using this software for 20 fucking years daily. I am building my own Photoshop. I will do it, okay? And it's already in it's in a good enough state, okay? And I'm not gonna pretend like it's good, but it's better. It's good enough. It's got 8
Man trying to compete against Adobe.
Paint. Background removal. I know, Adobe probably already has this now, but I used to use the path tool every day. Hey, I'm gonna make a thumbnail. I gotta make the path tool all the way around. Oh, I could just...
Okay, no shit. That alone is a huge thing for me, because that was the big reason why I bought Canva Pro. Like, if I could seriously get this to help me render my thumbnails a little bit better, that'd be amazing.
Just click a button now. That's cool. Now
I am planning to get an NVIDIA DGX Spark, like, end of the year, maybe next year.
It might seem like there's a lot of stuff going on, and I agree.
It's just with all the conferences right now,
they're so nice.
kind of figuring it out.
Hey, can you do this? Maybe like summarize my emails, give me an update on my calendar, and just tickle me at 7 a.m. every Monday. It will do it. If I wanted to blub like a fish, it blubs like a fish. Oh, it has themes as well. Oh, now I got you.
5K on the Spark. Yeah.
The point is, Odysseus is yours. And I wanted
I was planning on buying several of them.
Because I want you to help me keep building it. The war on big tech has just begun.
It's worth it to self-host.
Be abused. This project will never cost any money. That's my return, okay? But you have to make meaningful changes, not just comma doctors, okay? It also works on mobile, which was hell to make feel good. But it's actually pretty good, actually. I just want it to be good because I'm using it personally myself, and now I'm sharing it with you. There is no Windows or Mac port. Someone else is gonna have to do that, okay? Thank you. Bye.
Well, you don't want a Windows or a Mac port. Alright. Well, it is officially getting late. I do have the conference tomorrow, so thank you for joining me. And make sure, if you haven't already, to follow me on all of my socials. I am on, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Discord, Matrix. We have a great Discord community and a Matrix community. You're more than welcome to join. The links are in the bio for all of you if you don't see them in the chat right now. I love you all. Stay safe. Happy hacking. Stick around for the raid if you're on Twitch, but otherwise, the next stream should be Wednesday. So I will see you then. Happy hacking.